Live at the door. All right. All right, you're good. You go inside. Morno, everyone. I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing a good friend. We've been fucking kind of online buds for some time. I've got fucking Tom from Townies. What's up?
What is up?
Oh, it's been a kind of a boring little day over on my end. I'm just but you know what lifted me up is that I just fucking listened to the new EP just like over and over again. Ooh. It's so good. Like I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for like okay, all right. So the record came out last year. We both kind of had records come out at the same time. I think that's why we've connected so much, and we both went in under We're Trying. Let's talk about that fucking record. Congrats on the whole thing. Anyways, it's been a crazy year for y'all.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for all the kind words and for having me. And yeah, it's been awesome, dude. This has been a really, really exciting like past 12 or 13 months for us. 'Cause we've been a band for a while.
Yeah, y'all been doing this shit for quite some time.
Right. But we've never really found a home, I feel like, or found a scene, so to speak. It was always like we were in Boston for years, and then we came out to LA and basically hit reset. And it took a while to like, yeah, really find a community that wanted to listen to what we're putting out that wasn't just our friends. And putting out the full length Through We're Trying has just led to so many relationships and led to so many just finding other bands and meeting other people who are doing the same thing and just getting our music listened to by actual music fans, which is like literally the coolest thing in the world.
It feels just so fucking cool. And like y'all, I've tried to, you know, I was talking to Connor from Summit, and I've been saying this. I think I wrote a review for you guys back when I was doing that. Mm-hmm. Y'all are like the spin doctors of DIY. That's the only way I could explain it. There's something, maybe it's just because of Faux Pas, maybe it's just like this, the 3-piece nature of it, where it's kind of a little bit stripped back. The EP that's coming out is kind of almost a leveled up version of it. Maybe it's just the Menino treatment, but like, did Menino do the first record as well?
No, we did that with Joe Reinhardt.
Okay, hell yeah. So there's a sonic quality that y'all are doing that is like kind of anti-distortion. Like it's still like really clean, but it's still really thick. It's after seeing y'all play, what gravitated y'all from this to this sound? Like, how did y'all get here? Let's go through the fucking lore.
Yeah. Where do you want me to begin? Because it starts a long time ago. Believe me.
Yeah, how far long ago does this fucking start?
So I'll try to do the condensed version, because sometimes I just get excited, like going down memory lane. But so me, Chris, and Nolan worked at a summer camp. That was like our summer job in New Hampshire. Chris is from New York. Nolan and I are from outside Boston.
Cool.
We were camp counselors, like very just classic traditional. People send their kids away for 2 weeks at a time. And I think my first summer there, I was like 17, and somebody found a drum set in like the old maintenance shed, and like, oh, like you play guitar, right? Let's jam. So me and 3 other guys who are not members of Townies currently, still good friends, we put on a show for the kids on like the last night of camp. We played like 3 songs. It was horrible. Like it was so fun, but it was like our drummer, I don't think had ever played drums in his life, and you could tell. We had like our bass player just had an acoustic bass not plugged in. It was like, what's the point of that?
What are we doing?
But somebody wrote on a piece of paper Townies and slapped it on the kick drum right before our set. I don't even know who did it.
Shut up.
And then the first kind of iteration of Townies, if we're talking about the lore, was basically every summer whatever counselors were there and were musically inclined would jam over the course of the summer and like play a couple of like shows or events. And the kids ranged from like 8 to 15 years old. So we're doing like the pop punk cover stuff, like just like, hey, here are songs that we grew up with that we want the kids to hear, and it's fun for us. And I think by year 3 of that, me, Nolan, Chris, and our old bassist Steve, who's still a really good friend as well, that became like Townies.
Sure. And like, what year is that? Like, how long ago
that was 2015 was the first time it ever. That's fucking 10 years. That's
shut
crazy.
up.
But like, if you ask Nolan when Townies was founded, Nolan's our drummer. He'll tell you 2017 or 2018 because that was the first time we were all together. But eventually, we decided, Nolan, Steve, and I, to just get together outside of the confines of camp. We all lived like 30 minutes away from each other while we were in college at this point, and just jam and like write songs and keep it going. So officially, that's how Townies really started, was us getting together outside of camp. Mm-hmm. But really, the origin story starts there, which I think is always funny to look back on.
It's fucking wild to think that just like someone just like on a piece of paper wrote Townies and like no one knows who it's like. There's like my first thought was like, you know, it's one of you went back in time to do it. Like it's like you secretly like showed up in like the hat and the sunglasses and stuck that there and just for you to see it. Like it's very weird that that's where the name came from, because technically you don't know who did it.
Yeah, like if I had to bet, I think it was the guy that was trying to play drums at the time.
Sure.
But I don't know. Yeah, it just stuck, so we rolled with it for years, and it became like a whole subculture within camp, like because kids they're so impressionable and they're young, and like they all, like when I was a camper, I looked up to counselors like they were gods. And there were counselors playing songs and who were musically inclined when I was a kid, who I thought were like holy crap, I want to do that someday. So it was really cool to like be able to do the music stuff while also kind of feeling like role models to kids who were excited about it. Mm-hmm. And like, again, I don't think we were all that good. I have some old recordings. Like, I didn't know how to sing for a long, long time, but I was still doing it. But it was fun. And basically from camp, that's when we kind of tried working around the Boston scene a little bit. And it was really just like summers and winter breaks in between college semesters. We had a couple iterations of bass players because Steve ended up moving to Burlington, Vermont. My cousin Ryan, who has a band called Lousy, he filled in for us for a little bit. And then eventually we got Chris to like really be the guy, because he was always like our third best friend. Mm-hmm. And he's a great musician too. So it was like, all right, we know this is the trio that makes the most sense. Now it's just a matter of making it work.
Because like, what's funny is, did y'all do the 2 guitars, bass, drums? And now you're just a 3-piece?
Yeah, I guess at camp it was weird. Like sometimes we would have like 3 guitarists, and sometimes like a new kid on staff would come to us and be like, yo, I brought my guitar for the summer. Like, I'm ready to jam. We'd be like, all right, like turn your volume really low and like stand over there because we got too many guitars going on. But it was always a 3-piece when we started like writing our own songs. And
okay, cool. Was there something about the way that you play? You kind of play rhythm and lead at the same time. Is that something that you like focused on to make sure that you could do, to make sure that it could? It's like you found a way to make sure that it was a 3-piece forever because of the way that you 100%. Learned how to play guitar.
Yeah, and I don't know that it was ever like so intentional. It was more just a symptom of the fact that it's like I'm the only guitar player. And especially back then, like I was doing most of the primary songwriting as far as like, where does this begin? And I've never liked just like using simply power chords, right? Like, how can I make this a little more interesting? So I don't know what to exactly tie that to, other than like, I don't want to just have lead riffs over bass lines because that feels not full enough.
Yeah.
So I've always really tried to do lead and rhythm simultaneously, and it's fun. It challenges you, like, it forces you to come up with cool chords.
It's kind of adapt or die in a way, where it was just like, hey, that's the kind of the main reason, like, even 95 added another guitarist, because I couldn't do both. Like, sing, play the rhythm, and then add this weird lead in the middle of it. Like, seeing y'all play, like, you're talented as fuck, like, just to be able to do all that. And the survivability of you to, like, be like, fine, I'll learn how to do that, and then you fucking did it, is, like, insane. That's pretty crazy.
I appreciate it.
So tell me about Boston, like, and playing in Boston. What's Boston like? What's the DIY scene like there? And were you able to connect? Like, was that like the first, because, like, you kind of went over, the hump of, like, okay, we are going to be a band, and we're going to do this thing, and we're going to write songs together. And then when you kind of, able to, stick together through that and start playing shows, that is strange. And I've never talked to somebody from Boston, so I'd love to learn, like, more about that scene specifically.
For sure. Yeah. And to be honest, like, our experience in the Boston scene was very short lived, because, again, it was like,
cool.
Nolan and I were in college, both across the country. I went to school in New Orleans. He was here in Los Angeles.
Oh, no shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So so during school, y'all were spread out, and then, like, you guys would just come back, like, after.
Exactly.
Okay, so you would write a bunch of songs and bring them to them during breaks and shit. Okay, that's
literally, yeah. And, like, I remember really my junior and senior year of college was when Nolan and I got, like, really on the same page. Like, we need to write and record music together, because he's the best drummer I've ever met, and, like, we really aligned with our influences and our tastes. So. Mm-hmm. I would write songs and send them to him, and we would talk constantly. As far as getting back to Boston, it was like, because we spent so little time together, it's not like we all of a sudden landed in the summer back in Boston and had 10 shows lined up, right? It was a grind just to get on bills. I mentioned my cousin earlier, who's in Lousy, which is a badass punk band.
Lousy's so good. You showed me Lousy, and that's so fucking good.
Crazy. I owe him, like, everything, because he was actually involved in the scene from high school onward, and he was going to local shows. Like, I really didn't know where to find that. None of my friends growing up were into the music thing. So once we started to take it more seriously and really, like, be a band, he was, like, our guiding light. He was like, you guys are trying to record a song, like, this guy in this town has a basement and a studio, like, hit him up. You guys want to play a show? Like, this guy is having a show on this date, like, hit him up. So it was a lot of that. It was less so us, like, really truly knowing bands. I would say over the past few years, our experience from our time in Boston has come full circle. Where, like, bands that I remember going to see, because I also played in Lousy for like probably a year when I was home from college. I was playing bass. So I met some bands that way, like Sub Punch and Motel Art, some really, really cool people. And now whenever we go back to Boston, it's, like, really easy for us to connect with bands that we know and that we really like. But it was short lived. Like, we probably played, I don't know, 5 or 6 shows total as a band in Boston before moving to LA full time. Because, again, it was like summer break, winter break, for a year and a half, really. So we very much identify with Boston as our home. Totally. We'd be totally lying if we said, like, we spent a ton of time grinding out the scene there.
Because you sing a lot about Boston, despite having, like, only played the handful of shows there. Which is,
definitely,
like, I don't think I've ever heard you sing about LA in a way. Where, like, it's like, yeah, it was just this, it was so formative in these brief summers that, like, apparently that's just stuck around with you.
Yeah. And I mean, we still grew up there, and like, I don't know, I feel like people from Boston have a lot of pride, and, like, I'm not from the city. Like, I'm a total suburban kid. I would never try and claim that I'm from, like, Dorchester or something. Right. But, especially moving away, like, I went to college on the other side of the country. As soon as college ended, I moved across the country. So I've always had this, like, really strong sense of hometown pride, I guess, and especially with sports, Boston sports have always been good. So
yeah,
or at least they used to be good until they started breaking my heart recently.
it's okay. It's okay.
So
we won't get depressing.
You're right. We love identifying from Boston because that is home to us, and like I really, really look forward to going back a couple of times a year that I get to and go see my family and just like drive on the old streets. I'm a very nostalgic person. I know Nolan is too. So that's kind of how that goes, or where it comes from.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I mean, in your records, it's a lot of looking back. It's a lot of hindsight. It's a lot of, even in the new EP, it's like, there's still, I'd say it's a little less so in the new EP, like, but I mean, I think that you sit well in a nostalgia, like kind of writing sense. Cause I think you write really well looking back. It's really kind of hard to write like forward in a way, where the things that you hope and you dream for, and like just the dumb things like that, where it's like you can just you can at least tell the stories because you know the stories and you've already experienced them, so that's why you can write that way. Okay, let's talk about the LP, because first things first, you probably should tell everyone what Brock is. Because it's just broccoli. It's just like it's the broccoli emoji forever. My assumption is that it's just weed. Like it's like it's just like we're a Spin Doctors weed rock band. That's how I've just read into it my entire time of knowing y'all.
Yeah, you're not really wrong, to be honest. Like rock. I'll tell you exactly where this came from.
Okay.
Me, Nolan, and Steve forever ago recorded like a single take. The first song we ever wrote, it was called Haunted. We recorded it in Nolan's basement with like, I think literally the microphone that I'm speaking to you through right now. And we uploaded it to SoundCloud because we were like, we wrote a song, let's put this on SoundCloud. And then under genre, Nolan was in charge of uploading it, and he's like a mastermind, like meme humor guy. And it asked what the genre was, and he just wrote Brock Rock because Brock was how he referred to pot for like within his friend group. So it's like a super niche thing, and then we just kind of ran with it. We're like, yeah, we're a Brock Rock band. Like no one knows what that means, but
you owned it. It's like it's like this thing. It's like, oh yeah, you guys keep saying it as if it's this thing, but no one else has ever wrote that. And so there's like this weird dissonance, being like, yeah, they really say that they're this thing, but I think I don't know what's going on.
It's kind of worked well too, because I feel like it's common now for bands to like self-proclaim a genre that no one's ever heard of, so it kind of works. And
I think that's a good sign.
Now we just say we're a rock band because it's too confusing for most people.
So while you were writing that first LP, and like, while you started being a guy that was writing music, what were you, I guess over the course of the years, what were you listening to? What were your inspirations? Who were you trying to write like? And then compare and contrast like their LP1 and the new EP. And you can say Max Seal forever. I know that you want to.
Definitely Max Seal. Max Seal honestly like changed everything about music for us. Just because I'd never heard music and like rock music like that was in weird tunings that had those riffs, and it was the first time I ever tuned my guitar to something other than standard. So we owe a lot to Max Seal. They were very formative for me personally, and I know the other guys would agree. I was huge in the whole pipeline of like the 2000s mall emo, Taking Back Sunday and Blink and Brand New and like the pop punk and all that stuff too. So it kind of started there, and that evolves into like the Senses Fail and A Day to Remember stuff. But when I really started writing music, I would say biggest influences always have been and still are. Menzingers are like number one. I'm a huge Menzingers fan. Like I think the way that they write songs, I just saw them like 2 weeks ago, and I've seen them like 10 times. And because I've seen them so many times, it was kind of like, do I need to go to this show? Like, yeah, why not? Like you'll have a good time. And dude, I went and like they got to like their third song, and I was like holding back tears immediately. I was just like, oh my God, they just write the most perfect songs. They're not trying to do too much ever. It's just beautiful. And that's always been something that I've taken, because you probably relate to this. Like, you sit down, you're writing a song and you're trying so hard to make it complicated and to make it different so that it stands out. And Menzingers, it's like, dude, just play 3 or 4 chords and sing something that like really feels meaningful. And I always, whenever I'm in a writing slump, like there's a song called Shop Cat on the EP. That's so simple. And like, that was literally one of the first weeks when I moved to LA. I was like, I haven't written a song in like 6 months. I need to sit down and write. It's the only time I've ever done that. And I was like, all right,
so like you pushed through. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the only time I can ever remember sitting down and saying, Tom, like you're not putting the guitar down until you finish writing a full song. And that song, like, it's super simple. It's catchy and fun and easy. And that's how Shop Cat came to be. So Menzingers are like the goats.
That makes sense. I think that like that writing structure is really, really cool. I think that like, I think that everyone, or let's take a like, inventory of like the complicatedness of DIY right now. And it is, everything is really complicated. I think that there's such a strive to become complicated, like listening to the Arm's Length record, which is such a lean into space and dynamics and like, just weird patterns and vocal melody lines. Like homies are like crazy, but like they're always trying to get more complicated. But then if you like listen to, and I think this is like, if this record gets big enough, if the Charmer record gets big enough, it's going to activate more of a simple thing for the next like couple years. Like them coming back after 5 years to like put out a rock record that is just like thicker and like less twinkly. I think like I am not a fan of like twinkly guitars. Is it selfish because I can't do it? Maybe. But like I think that things like what I love about y'all is first of all, y'all show you expand what DIY is in your sound alone. I think in lyrical content, and it's all pretty, all same across the board. Everyone's just talking about their fucking feelings and nostalgia. It's pretty classic. Pretty fucking classic. But melody lines, y'all are doing crazy shit, and you keep it simple in like a way that not a lot of people are doing, and it's still like you guys kind of have to keep it simple because of the 3-piece structure, but it's y'all are just doing something different than everyone, and it's just so cool. And Menzingers makes so much sense.
Yeah, I appreciate all that. I don't know. I don't think that we like when we write songs, we're not sitting down and being like, all right, like how do we do something that's different than anyone else is doing, because it might be different than what some people are doing. It's probably going to sound more similar to somebody else if we do it that way. But I really think what it is like we, and I know myself specifically, like I love so many different kind of sects of punk music. And I draw influence from all of them. And I want to, like, I could never see Townies having an album that really feels like one genre the whole way out.
Sure.
And like, I don't know, I listen to some bands and I'm like, damn, they have such a consistent sound. Like as soon as it starts playing, I know it's going to be that band's song. And I'm really jealous of that like sense of identity that they have. But at the same time, I really find a lot of fulfillment in the fact that we can have like 3 or 4 different genres kind of tackled over the course of a 5 or 6 song release, and that's really fun for me. Cause like, I love country music. I love like some hip hop. I love some hardcore. I love punk. I love Midwest emo. So a lot of that falls under the same umbrella, but drawing the influences from specific parts of those genres. I think that's the whole point of songwriting. Like you take everything you like, you put it in a blender, and then whatever comes out is your identity.
Like, I mean, if you think about like in LP1, like the transition like into Dog Yard, like, and I mean, there's something. It's like this little hardcore moment, but it's with the clean guitar. It's like the goofiest thing. I remember hearing that the
Dog Yard
first
is
time.
a ridiculous song.
I don't know how y'all did it. It's like you figured out another way to like sonically no distortion, have a chuggy moment, and like it's like the weirdest like. That's when I knew that this was something really, really special. Faux pas in itself. I mean, Gallows, obviously, like there's, it's funny when I first heard Gallows, I was like, oh, these guys we're going to be friends, because when I was like, when the way that you structured Gallows is really close to how I structured Exit. And like there's just so much weird little fun little half steps that y'all were doing that are breaking like normal music theory stuff. Like it's so much fun. Like and you don't do that very often, but there's something that's what I was like, okay, cool. So the homies are like, we're gonna be friends. But like, is there something about sticking to like normal music theory stuff rather than like trying to break it?
I mean, I personally have no like music theory background.
Cool.
So like I taught myself how to play guitar when I was in like 7th grade, and then like naturally you end up in certain classes and stuff. I think I took a music theory 101 class my first semester of college, which funny enough, like caused me to have the worst writer's block of my life, because I would be writing something and be like, all right, I'm supposed to like settle back to the first here, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it just, everything felt so boxed in.
Yeah, music theory creates a railroad, guardrails around a lot of it, and like there's a part of music theory where I'm a huge music theory nerd. So is Mikey from 95. Like we're constantly talking about circle fifths and where you're supposed to land.
Oh my god! See, I would get lost so fast.
Oh, it's more about like the way I see it in my head is it's like coding, or like how you would look at like a video game in like a combo system, where like the way that things start over can start over, and like you can start over on the minor, you can start on the dominant, or you can start over on the 2, and it's really rare to start, or you can start on the 4. Like I'm thinking about like how I think of it as just like this sphere of like of like where everything can't land, and you're allowed to do weird little things to it, and it's like everyone gets worried like, oh, you can write the same song over and over again or on accident as other people's songs, but then like you don't have to do any of that shit. You can just start like breaking anything anyways, and like that's my favorite part, is like finding those moments in between where you go, oh, I love like the normal stuff, but I want to flip it right here, and then you're allowed to. It's so cool. Like I could nerd out about this like forever, just because I see it so clearly in my head. Like even when I'm writing, like, okay, cool, do a 7th chord here, and then fun, do the lead down into the dominant, but hit the 1 above it so that you're doing a cool little metal part in the beginning. Like there's just so much like freedom once you know the theory, and it's weird.
You have to know it first, which is the part that I'm not willing to to invest the time into.
Well, it's funny because like you play like you do. You play like you kind of, well, it's funny. It's like you know enough about, or maybe it's just because like you've played enough to everyone else's music. Or like, were you like a listening to your ear guy, where you're like, cool, I can just like listen to this song and I'm going to learn how to play it?
I used to be very tab oriented. Like it's funny. I remember when I was first starting to play guitar, like I didn't learn how to play traditional chords until like a year and a half in. Like all I learned how to do was play power chords and like riffs from like ultimateguitar.com or something.
Sure.
Because I remember my whole reasoning was like, chords are for like country music and pop songs. Like that's not what I want to play. Yeah. And then I remember going to my cousin's place for like Christmas Eve, and he whipped out his guitar, and he was always a better guitarist than me. And he started playing Jumper by Third Eye Blind.
Hell yeah.
Like, like cool bands use normal chords. Like maybe I should learn those after all. I don't even know where I started that thought, but it took me a while to get to that point.
It's kind of like, I think the way that the onion like opens up, you know, as you get deeper and deeper into like songwriting and stuff. I think there's a sine wave of like, you know, the way you start is you start copying, and then you start like, I'll never forget, I'm like 12. My dad started teaching me guitar. He wanted me to learn a bunch of fucking this one band, T-Rex. He wanted me to learn a bunch of T-Rex, and who I love still to this day. I love T-Rex. But he wanted me to learn a bunch of like The Cure as well. And that song, Friday I'm in Love, has like that lead line that's just all the way down the scale. And the way he taught me is that note starts like on the 12th fret on the B string, and you go all the way down. And then I'll never forget, like a couple of days later, I was like, oh, well, if I play the high stuff on the high E and drag it down, I don't have to move my hand at all. And I showed my dad, I was like, hey, I think this is how you play it. And he goes, no. That's how he plays it. Like he plays it from the B and drags it all the way down. And I was like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Right. But it's funny how like those circumstances, it's like, yeah, it's the same notes, but it's not the same feel. And
exactly.
Like,
and so like
that is so important, I think.
I think it like, and I learned that so early about like of like, it's just, it doesn't matter. It's play however you fucking feels better. Like if you are playing something at the G, like the higher octave G versus a lower octave G, there's so much openness that you can do with just those notes. But I'm also trained like in piano first, and like was classically trained since like I was 5. So like all the theory stuff and all that stuff is mainly just stuff that I nerd out about. It's just so weird because the moment that you start locking yourself into it, you just want to break it. It's so good.
I'm jealous. I'm also not jealous, but I'm a little bit jealous because sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I just had the map to get me where I need to go.
And that's all it is a map. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm in this key. These are kind of what you're working with. Here are the standard patterns. Like, here's a 95 secret. My only desire is to never do a standard 4 chord, like the minor, the fourth, dominant, the fifth. That is like, I never want to do it. And I
couldn't agree more. Like that is a principle that I adopted. I don't know, at some point, like when I was like 20, maybe I was like, I will never, ever write a song that includes that progression. And there are some badass, like we were just jamming to You're So Last Summer by Taking Back Sunday.
Yeah.
And the end of that song, like, does that progression. I was like, damn it.
I know, dude, every time.
Like, I will never do it, no matter what.
I mean, it's actually literally my only qualm with the new Arm's Length record is that it's just there's a lot of like really good pattern stuff that they're doing but they're still doing that 4 chord. And I'm just like, fine.
Right.
I love you guys. But
oh God. There's definitely a Townies song somewhere where like, I just do that, and here I am talking a big game.
There's the one thing that I think people don't use enough is something that I want more people to use is when you look at your key. Let's say you're playing in open E, and I'll use the fret numbers. The fret numbers is like the way I've always thought about it, not like the actual the actual music theory term, because I think it's just easier to think about it as if it was in drop D. It's just so much easier to think about. Is you in your major scale where you have 0, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. You can as long as you have your right root notes, you can still hit 6 and 8. like as lead-ins into either going into the 5 or going to the 7, and like not enough fucking people do that. Like I love it, and it's like the perfect little twinge, and it scratches that part of your brain. Like I think more people need to fucking do that. And if you just look at your guitar and you see you're writing something, it's got a 5, 7, 9 sequence, you could just throw the 6 or 8 in there as long as you hold those dominant chords. Like, just do it. Fucking just explore it. Anyone who's listening to this, just explore it. You're going to love it. And it's the only shit that I fucking like nerd out about when people finally do that.
For me, it's like watching other guitarists play, specifically like my cousin, who I will reference 10 more times because
shout out Lousy.
Enough. Shout out Lousy. Listen to Lousy. Like the chords that this dude uses are the most effed up things I've ever seen in my life. Like, how are you making the guitar make that sound? Like, his fingers are just all over the place, and
I love
like
that
there's
shit.
No greater compliment anyone could ever give me than like, what the hell chord is that?
Yeah,
like,
dude.
That's what I get so excited about. Or when we played with Phony like 2 weeks ago, and I was watching the shapes Neil was making. I was like, God, that's fucking awesome. I love those chords. Like,
well, you can tell like guitarists watching a show, when people aren't looking at you, they're looking at your hands. Like, right. Like I'm looking terrifying. I'm not looking at people singing. I'm looking at everybody's hands. Like it is like that's how I watch shows. I want to see what they're doing. Like that is because that's the inspiration stuff. You see how do other people glide along the fretboard? Like it's so cool, and some people are so talented. Like Mikey from 95 is just like he's
shredder.
He's an absolute shredder. I'll never get it. I can't.
Yeah, I can't do it either.
I can't do that shit. Homie is like an absolute glam rock. Like no one is more talented when it comes to that kind of stuff than him. He's just so cool at it. It's the other side of guitarness that I can't like live in that state. Like I can live in cool chords and I can live in like cool transitions and on the writing side, but like to do the leads and everything, he's just like, that's a completely different type of writing in itself, because that again, you can start breaking rules, and you can break even more rules with that, like because it's counter melody and it's all this other shit.
Someone else is holding down like the meat of it all, and you get to go in and add some spice, right?
And like that's the spicy part of it, where it's like this is where like you can literally start doing just whatever the fuck you want. I love that shit, and like there's something about how you do it, which you add so much cool stuff. I mean, you play, first of all, you play a big motherfucking guitar. Like you play a big hollow body, which tends to usually have a higher action anyways. Like you kind of have like a lot of work, and you play very fast still. Like it's very impressive to watch you play.
Thank you. It doesn't always feel impressive. Sometimes I'm fighting for my life up there. But I just keep my game face on.
I can only imagine what it's like, because like I have a hollow body fucking here somewhere, and it's like a nightmare. I have like a yellow
hollow body. We only do that for the emo tuning songs.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. Like if I had to tune to and from standard over the course of a set, like nothing would get done. It would be an absolute disaster. So we break that one in for the emo songs. It's like it has such a different sound, and it creates the worst sounding feedback ever, and like causes me a lot of headaches. But I love that thing.
Let's talk about like the tones that you're kind of going for. I find that your stuff is really unique. And again, this cleanness, the Spin Doctors thing that I keep, this 90s thing that you keep doing, what is a challenge that you're trying to do yourself to like remove yourself from distortion? Or is this like a taste thing? Like even in the new EP, the first song is a really, really heavy song, but it's again, another Dog Yard moment where it's not distortion. It's like just this loud fucking wall of clean guitars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny. Like my whole life, I would only play like really distorted, and I loved like chugging. I was really into like 4 Year and Senses Fail and ADTR, like that kind of stuff. It's like you couldn't catch me playing an electric guitar with anything but like the heaviest setting on it. And then being in a band and like having to figure out your own tones, like I'm the worst person to talk to about gear and tones. And it's like I know nothing about it. For most of my life, I've been completely disinterested. I don't know like the parts of a guitar. I don't know what pedals do what like half the time.
I'm the same fucking way, dude.
Really?
As soon as like I have one pedal.
I just want to write songs, man.
I only have one pedal that does. Well, I have two. I have a reverb pedal because it makes whatever tone you have a little shiny. Like, and then I have a fuzz. I have this thing called a affogato that I saw it like on TikTok. Someone was doing a example that I go, I like that. I bought it. And that's just the tone that I use. Like, yeah. That was I don't give a fuck. I don't like my travel case of pedals is like a thing that has a tuner, a delay, and this affogato, and that's nice. It.
Yeah, but like as far as the first record goes, like I went into that knowing like Joe is going to decide what tones we're using because I know tight. He knows guitar. So like we got in. He's like, what do you want? What do you want the tones to be? I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, you need to really help me here. And he has this pedal, the double barrel, which is like 2 pedals in one. And if I try and describe it any further, I'm going to say something wrong. And know something about this, you're going to get mad. But that's what we're using on Of This I'm Certain is just this double barrel where, all I know is I click the left one and it turns blue and it's like a light crunch, and I click the right one and it turns green and it's a little heavier crunch, and I can have them both on at the same time. So it's like 2 pedals in one. And like on one hand, it does what you're kind of describing. It's like not a super heavy distorted tone, but it's still very crunchy.
Yes.
On the other hand, it drives me crazy sometimes because I love chugging and like fat palm muted guitars. I used to use this other pedal, this Friedman, that was like the fattest distortion you could ever imagine, but it sounded so bad like with a band. So I've had to dial it back a little bit. So long answer, short answer, like tonally, I only barely know what I'm doing, but I'm grateful that I've at least found this one pedal that I have gotten comfortable with. Because I can't tell you how many times like we'll go through a rehearsal together and I'll just like bang my head against the wall the whole time. Like my guitar sounds so bad right now and I don't know how to fix it. So someday I'm gonna really hone it in.
There's so you've heard it here first. You're gonna lock in on being a gear nerd and you'll be able to talk about this stuff online.
LP2 is gonna have some crazy tone. But dude, like we just did this tour a couple weeks ago and we played with like 15 different bands over the course of the tour. Mm-hmm. And so many of those bands, they just have like these super distinct, awesome tones. And like I think that for me is like the next level I need to get to just to like be as good of a band as we can possibly be. Is like, can I make my guitar just sound awesome every time? Like Garden Home specifically comes to mind. Oh, God, like they just sound so good and it's so unique to them.
Yeah, that homie's guitar, the not the lead singer, the lead guitarist has, I can't remember the name of the song, but it's got like, it's still clean, but it's still cool. And like, there's
I can hear the riff you're talking about.
Yeah,
in my head right
it's
now.
From the music video that they did. And I think it's actually, I will say that is, homie's tone in that was very inspirational on anything writing post LP1 for 95. Like it's that there's a lot of cool when it comes to sound and stuff like that. Like I think that the tone stuff is like, I think that's total LP2, LP3 vibes. We're like, well, let's just explore as much as possible, but still.
Right. We got the debut out of the way. Mm-hmm. Now we can relax and focus on some of the nitty gritty stuff a little more.
And like explore and like get experimental where it's like, I remember seeing, I remember posting, I was like, LP2 will not have a single song about the road. I refuse. There's a lot of like stuff that like, okay, here, when you're writing your second EP, you're writing the second LP, are there any like challenges you give to yourself for, you know, the things that you wanted to either stray away from in LP1 or the things that you were trying to like level up in yourself?
For sure. At least like starting with LP1, like that was very much, we've written these 10 songs, we've rehearsed them absolutely into the ground. I think we had 5 days, 2 of which were half days, or maybe it was 6 days and a half. I don't know. We had a very limited amount of time, and like our producer was just in town for that period of time. So like,
wow,
we couldn't go back and fix something. And I don't think that's unique to us. A lot of bands go through that when they're recording.
Totally.
So we didn't really get to do a lot of the ancillary stuff, the extra stuff. That's really fun. We did a little bit of it, like Faux Pas has that little lead guitar line during the choruses that was all Joe's idea, and like that type of stuff where it's just like, hey, we're a 3-piece, but let's throw in the extra instrumentation. So a huge goal. And to finish that thought, like I'm really, really happy with how LP1 has that rawness to it. Like it sounds like 3 dudes playing 10 songs, you know? And it's really like replicable in a live setting, which I take a lot of pride in. For the EP, which we did with Billy, we really wanted to add another layer to the experience. And that comes from a lot of different, like you'll hear more vocal dubs and louder harmonies and more kind of secondary parts. There's a lot of like vocal back and forth going on. There's tambourine, there's stuff like that. And kind of between those 2 releases, I feel like I now have a really, really solid sense of what I like and what I don't like. And for the full length, whenever it happens, the next full length, like we're really going to take our time. I want to really release something that is not just like an awesome album, but is like really, I feel like artful, like sounds pretentious in a way, but you know what I mean? Like kind of leveling up something that feels more artistically focused.
Yeah, I get that, because it's like, you know, I think, yeah, you put out the raw record. It does not feel like this, you know, like you just said, 3 guys, 10 songs. It feels bigger than that. It feels planned. Like the fact that that happened in 6 days is kind of ridiculous because it feels just so much bigger than that. But I feel like there's always the goal to like tell a grander story on LP2, and and then like LP3 and LP3 decides whether LP2 worked. Like there's a lot of like kind of rules and like but I think that everyone's LP2 like usually is like the bigger story, like how weird can I get, like that is it's really cool to see people first of all even have the opportunity to do LP2. Like that's there's a lot of people that don't make it to that. Like I feel so bad, like, you know, RIP to Cascade Right. They broke up, and like that's a huge bummer, but you know, some people just don't make it to LP2. That's fine. But like if you do get it to LP2, and I think people are just like really grateful to get there, so they're like, fine, we're gonna put the most we can into this. Right.
Yeah. Because that's when I think it really starts to feel like, hey, this isn't going to pay the bills anytime soon. Like people, like, who knows? One of us could move or something. Like,
exactly.
You know, I mean, we've had that attitude the whole time. Going into the first album, we all like really made the point to look at each other and say, like, this might be the only album we ever record. So like, we're not cutting corners. We're not wasting time. Like, let's really, really dedicate ourselves to this and enjoy the whole thing, because it may never happen again. And this has been like a lifelong dream.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like, I mean, it's so funny. Like my first thought of hearing that is like, I feel like a lot of the way that y'all thought about it, and even the way that we thought about it, it was like, listen, I feel like I was 26 years old getting ready to kill myself at 27. Like I needed to like it was just like I needed to get it done so that I could do it. Like,
Right.
I needed to get this as soon as it's possible because I have no idea if the window will close and I'll never be able to get that done again. I think that's a lot of music is done that way, where it's like, I think I've talked about this at least twice before, where like making music and is like running a D&D campaign sometimes, where it's like you'll never be able to get everybody together in the same room. It's rare, and then everyone gets older and you're having kids and school and all this stuff, where it's like if the window is passing by and everyone has the chance to jump through it, you might as well fucking jump through it.
100%. That's the entire reason I moved to LA in the first place. Was like Nolan he's a year younger than me, so he had his senior year of college. I graduated. I was like, I don't know what the heck to do. Like, all I know about my life right now is that if I don't move to LA to just be in the same city as my bandmate, I will spend my entire life wondering what would have happened if I did.
Yeah, that's
so I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, let's jump in.
I was gonna ask why you moved. Did Steve move to LA as well after you then?
So Steve was kind of like not in the band anymore starting. I'm really bad with the years, but before then. And at this point, Chris, who's our current bassist.
Okay, cool. Yes, Chris. First of all, I'm going to say that because I'm going to delete that. So did Chris live? Yeah, I can edit my own shit.
Christy just said something really offensive and we had to delete it.
Okay, so was Chris in LA or did Chris come to LA after you?
Yeah, so I moved to LA. Nolan wrapped up his senior year. I think we had 1 year after that. So like 2021, then 22. I'm not going to try and do the year thing. Chris moved out maybe a year or 2 years after I did. Yeah, because, Chris and Nolan were in the same grade. Chris graduated, lived in New York for a full year. We had a couple shows that year, and we were like, dude, like if you want to still be in the band, like you need to fly out here and play these shows with us, because like we need every opportunity we can get. I don't know how many venues Nolan cold called to try and get us booked somewhere.
That's crazy.
When we finally got one, it was like, all right, Chris, like book your flight. And then we also did the Brock EP that way. He like flew in and we just recorded it.
There's you got to tell me what it's like playing in LA, because I feel like because the West Coast is so far away from any DIY stuff. Like I was talking to Connor, and apparently it's y'all and Army Amphibians. Like that's it. Those are the two West Coast bands.
And I'm just so glad that we are now the second one, because I think it was like we've been working really hard to become that second one. It's like, man, like there's a lot of real estate up for grabs right now. Like,
I mean, it was
a band out here.
So like, playing in LA, like, is it a fucking nightmare? So like, that's my assumption.
Yeah. And you're not wrong, because like there's kind of two sides to LA. There's the bullshit side where it's like big promoters and like pay to play, and everyone's trying to get signed to the big label and get money thrown at. Like, that very much exists. And if you come here and you have no connections, and you don't know where the scene is, like, you're gonna go through that. So like, we definitely cut our teeth dealing with a lot of the BS that just comes with the territory. And it wasn't ever like anything horrible, but it was just like, oh, we got offered to play this show. Oh, like, we made $30 and we sold like 35 tickets. Like, what? How does this make any sense? And like, there's like 2 or 3 promoters who are the worst. They'll just like text you every couple weeks, all caps messages, like a novel. Just being like, guys, we have these dates available. Like, if you want to play the Troubadour, like, we can do this and that. And I remember, like, when we first came out, we were like, the Troubadour? Like, yeah, we want to play the Troubadour. And then she replies, like,
just legendary.
Guys, I really think you should be starting somewhere smaller. Like, try and build up your following before jumping for a bigger bet. I was like, you asked us if we wanted to play the Troubadour. What the fuck is wrong with?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude.
Like, we've played with some pretty horrible bands out here who were like not in it the way, like, very like, inauthentic feeling, not to just throw shade for no reason.
That's Nashville.
But gradually, as we've gotten to know more people and gotten our names out there, more like real opportunities started showing up. And when I say real, it's it's people are there because they want to support music in general, not because they're our friends and they want to come and get drunk for the night, which I still really appreciate when they do that. But so now it's like, I don't know, very rarely currently does a month go by where we don't have a show or two with like other bands that are cool or that are touring and coming through and ask us to jump on. So there's really two sides to it. There's a really strong scene in these different pockets. It took us a little bit to find them, but I feel like once you kind of know where to look, there's a lot of really, really positive music stuff. I don't know. Have you listened to the band Collars, their album they just put out?
You told me about them. They're like this new kind of math rock thing. Like
they are. First of all, listen to Collars if you haven't already. If you're listening to this, listen to Collars. They just put out an album. It's unbelievable. But they're a great example of a band that, like, I found them on TikTok randomly, and it was just like a clip of them playing a show, sounding awesome. Cool. And I saw that it was like Southern California, so I hit them up. And we've played a bunch of shows together since then. And they invited us a couple of weeks ago to do their album release show in their like home territory, because they're up in the valley, like an hour or two away from us.
Cool.
And like all these younger kids came through, and it was like in a deli, and the owner of the deli was like, yeah, like have shows here. This is so like there's such a community and such a scene. And that was so foreign to us for so long, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that, you know, something that I love, right? I could talk trash on Nashville forever.
Nashville's like the same. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You totally get it. It's just country music, though.
It's just there's a lot of cool pockets. I feel like the one thing I like about Nashville is that, like, the Broadway main corporate country shit exists like in a very small area. And that's Broadway. And that is like where everything is. It's like 6 blocks. That is it. And then outside of that, because again, that's where everyone goes. That's where like the 100,000 people every day are just in these 6 blocks. And then outside of that, like the way I see, you know, the extrapolation here is like in LA is like all of LA is like that. And and then you have to go like an hour or so outside of it to find like those cool spots.
It just varies. Like, because there's like a really cool hardcore scene in what I think is like the heart of LA, and there's still DIY spaces and house shows happening in the LA area. I just think when you come in and you don't really know where to look, you end up getting picked up by these promoters who are just like trying to suck vultures. The life and the money out of every band that comes through. And it's like, yeah, we need to play shows. You're our only option, so we'll do whatever you need us to do.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I feel like there is something that Nashville doesn't have, which is that. Like there isn't like big weird promoter like the skeezy 1980s like bullshit that you see. Like whenever I hear about that stuff, it always feels like this gross thing, like sleazy 1980s, 1990s LA. And Nashville doesn't really fucking have that. Like it's pretty more gatekeepy. All those people are incestuous and just like feeding off of each other, and they only get like, you know, people that are doing people that are up and coming singer songwriters that where all they've done is like, you know, go to the right parties and do this. And I think that maybe that's where it exists, because I've never seen it. It's more like the parties thing in Nashville, which lets you get onto playing these other shows. And that is gross.
And out here, it's hard because, like I have a lot of friends who work in music in varying degrees and like for bigger companies too. And a lot of them in a really honest and like wanting to be helpful way are like, oh, like you should talk to this person, or like you should, like if you start posting these TikToks, like I think that'll really be good for you guys. And it's like, I really appreciate the advice and like the wantingness to help, but like you have to understand that's just like fundamentally not the direction that we belong going down, you know, like there's a different scene going on that we're a part of, and that I think we kind of know how to handle ourselves and conduct ourselves to stay true to that, you know?
Yeah, speaking of direction, where, because of the, like, okay, there is, there's the highway. The highway is doing TikToks. It's making a very specific kind of music. It's doing this. It's doing that. It's like,
we're back on roads.
Yeah, we're back on roads again. We're back on fucking roads again. And there's like that kind of path you can take. But then, there is this other path that kind of everyone is doing, kind of a recoil away from that. It's what y'all are doing. It's what we're doing. It's what a lot of people are doing. But no one knows where this ends up.
Yeah.
So where do you see Townies in 5 years?
5 years is a long way away.
Long fucking time.
I think, like, we talk about this kind of stuff a lot because we're very big, like, dreamers, for lack of a better word, or maybe that's the perfect word.
Yeah, that's the word. Like, it's the word.
Yeah. My favorite part of the album release cycle, or like the new music release cycle, which is like literally our first single's coming out, I think, in like 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm right in the thick of like the excitement phase. Is that we have no idea what the potential upside is. Because in this day and age, like, you could put out a song that has 10 million streams in a month, and people are, dying to hear more and more and more. Like, that's possible for any band of any size, just because of like the environment of the music world right now. So, like, I'd be completely lying if I said I don't think about, like, hey, what if this song blows up, and what if all of a sudden we're on a like world tour 12 months from now, and
totally
I quit my job and whatever. Realistically, we know that that's not how it's going to go. I think we're pretty confident in taking the steps. Like a couple of years ago, we had made a lot less progress than where we are now. And we still had the same kind of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed mentality. And like, we were putting out the Brock EP, we were like, people are going to love this. Like, we're going to blow up and quit our jobs. It's like, no, guys, like listening back on that, I'm like, I really thought that. I love those songs. Come on. And so I think that we're very confident that good music gets heard, and we have enough advocates now that if we just keep putting out good music, more opportunities will come. Like, already, more opportunities have come in the last year than we ever could have imagined. So like that's going to keep happening. And like, hopefully 5 years from now, like, I would love to be in a position where Townies is always fun and it's always fulfilling, and like, it'd be nice to make money from it. Sure. But like, I don't think any of us see it being our full-time jobs anytime soon. Like, we all like that we have careers, and if Townies doesn't work out, like, we can live pretty comfortable lives and still be happy. But there's also like that, the little kid inside you that's like, man, like, I'm pretty sick to tour Europe with the Menzingers in a couple of years. Like, it's not off the table. So yeah, my mind goes in a million directions when I think about that kind of stuff, because I like to think really big and just get excited, because like, if I'm not excited now, when will I be? So you may as well.
Yeah, there's kind of like, I think that the best parts, sometimes feeling naive about it is actually a good thing. Like, there's like having the reality sit in is not good for like maybe the best way to say it is like, bands float well in kind of the ignorance of it all. Like, I think that when you lift yourself up by the dreams of the band is when everything can move forward in the best way. Where like, I fight that all the time, where I'm like, well, I did the thing I wanted to do, and is there more? Like, do I want more? Like, what does more look like? What does sacrificing this time look like? How many more weekends? Like, I'm constantly just like asking myself all those questions of like, I think that's why I like doing this podcast, because I get to hear what everyone like else feels about this kind of stuff, and I want to know, like, when I ask that question to people and they're like, well, I hope I'm touring the world. Like, it makes me feel like that the dream is alive. And like, it's cool that there's like this thing that everyone, I love talking to hopeful people. Like, I don't think I've ever talked to someone where they're like, fuck it. I don't know. Like, I like it, like whatever. Like, I guess I'll just, if it doesn't happen, I'll just be going to work. And like, there's kind of a fun thing about that where they're like, yeah, I'm doing this just to see how far it goes. And we're all going to be in the car crash together. Like that's kind of the way most of these bands feel. And I like that.
100%. Yeah. I think that the biggest like kind of takeaway or whatever is just like living in the moment and like really appreciating the moment, which we like very, very proactively have been doing for a couple of years now, where it's like I have this journal right here that I took on tour. And like, I've never been a journaler. Never really been my thing. But before we left for this tour, again, this was a 1 week, I think a 10-day tour where we played 6 or 7 shows. Like, that's not much of a tour in the grand scheme of things.
For us, it was like
the biggest deal, right? Like we were giddy about it. Like, I've been looking forward to that week for months, and it was like the most excited I've been about something maybe ever.
Yeah, totally.
And it's, compared to like what other bands are doing, it's nothing, but for us, it was a huge, huge deal. And that whole week, like, we really made a point, and I made a point personally to like write down every day, just like how much fun I was having and how excited I was, and just being like, this could be something that I read back on in 20 years and I say, man, like, that was the coolest week of my life. I'm so glad I got to do that. What a time. Or maybe I'll read it in 10 years and say, like, I can't believe I thought this was a big deal. Like, I just took a plane to Australia to headline a festival with, like, like the sky is truly the limit. We'll always be grateful that we like took it day by day,
I think the graciousness is something that, like, being grateful for the opportunity to just like have anybody know who you are and anybody have listened at all, like, it's crazy. It's being in a band is so weird. And like, I don't think it'll ever be, I don't think there's anything as cool. I think that the feeling you get when someone says, I love your music, is like maybe the best feeling in the whole world. Like,
dude, seriously.
It's a very strange, because you've put out so much of yourself, like your meat and skeleton and like everything is like digitally out available for people to just like scan over. And it's really weird to know that, like, this song which is a tough song for you to sing, is sung by lots of people in their cars. Like, it's really weird. And I don't think that anybody will really get that unless they are doing it.
Like, when you wrote that review for our album when it came out, like I didn't really know you at the time. I don't think.
No, dude, I barely knew Jordan, I had just started doing it because I was like, I want people. I mean, I had ulterior motives. I was like, I want to write reviews because I wanted people to have eyes on 95. But like, like, I was
like
marketing. I was putting I mean, that's why I started the podcast. It was the same thing. If I do more work for others, they'll do more work for me. But like, I got the chance to, I think I just reached out to you guys to like, hey, can I write, I found out that the record was releasing in like 2 weeks, and I was like, let me write a review for it. Like, mainly because I wanted to listen to
like,
it.
Reading that the first time, like, almost brought me to tears. Like, that was like, I never, like, I think people have written quick things about music in the past that we've released, but like, the amount, like, we put everything into that record, right? And like, it was such a proud accomplishment. And then to immediately see somebody put their own words to like appreciating all the work that we had done, like, that was really, really cool. So thank you for doing that. That really, really meant the world to us at the time. And I've been meaning to go back and read it again, because I remember you like describing your sunroom and like,
yeah, dude.
I was like, damn, like, This is so cool.
I remember just like listening to LP1 for the first time, and it made me feel like, I got like a secret access to it, just because I was writing a review for it. And it felt, I remember feeling that no one was ready for this record. I felt like it was I feel like it was so brand new. I did not like know anyone that was making any kind of music like that. It was still like, again, tonally, your voice is pretty unique. And I just remember thinking that the way that you wrote stuff, the transitions from each song was so interesting. I mean, just thinking about the record, and when I first heard it, I remember just being like literally in my sunroom, just like in awe. And I still am. Like, my wife has to put on that record.
That's awesome.
And that is the key to it all. If you've got
it's the ultimate test.
If Lex wants to listen to the record, that means you've like passed this test, because she doesn't listen to like any of that stuff. Her whole thing is listening to like lo-fi hip hop beats and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, well,
I hope she's forgiven us for getting you shot after shot of, was it Fernet or Malort that we were feeding?
It's Fernet. It's Fernet, dude. Dude, that is my whole thing, and she's happy because it means that she likes the brand that I've created. Yeah.
She didn't look happy when we handed you the double shot and you took both without swallowing.
Well, I mean, first of all, Tulsa was crazy. Like, that was crazy that we all got to go and do it. Like, I think that was because y'all flew out for it. We drove. I mean, that
was a vacation we were like, hell yeah, we'll go to OKC. Like,
yeah, like it felt like it was everyone else that was playing. I didn't know if I was ever going to get the chance to play with it ever. Like, and actually the deciding factor of us going was hearing y'all were playing. Where I was like, there's no way I'm gonna, because again, the graciousness and the opportunistic stuff where I was like, you have to grab it when you can. Like, I saw the opportunity to play with you guys, and I was like, I have no idea if I'll be able to play with you, because you guys aren't playing Fuchella. I'm gonna have to fucking bleep Chella out. That's so annoying. The fact you guys aren't playing Fuchella, like, which is very strange. Like, you'll hear it in the Connor episode that's gonna come out. He was like, he's such a huge fan and tried to get you guys to come out.
No way.
Yes. And
I remember I DM'd with him briefly, but it was like after they had already established the lineup or something like that.
So I'm going to edit that correctly. I'm going to say that because I just remembered that's what happened. You guys DM'd him, and he either didn't know about Townies yet, and is now a huge fan and is really mad he didn't know.
Oh yeah.
But Connor is like, you guys basically have a spot for next year, like ready to go.
If the SWAT team doesn't raid it, take everyone into custody this year.
I mean, like, it's when you have opportunities like that, you have to just grab onto that stuff. It's so weird. Like, I remember seeing a tweet from like Stars Hollow where homie apologized for going back to grad school. And I remember feeling that was like a really, really strange moment, because like there's this thing about momentum in bands that you have to either capitalize on or just like chill on. And I think that the gravity to like hold on to your momentum when you're in a band is kind of addicting and can make you blind.
Oh yeah.
And I think that if as long as you're steadfast in what you want, you should be fine. But like, being in a band is still the like most selfish thing you can do. It's like, it is such a selfish act, and
look at me. Look what I did.
Look what I did. Listen to me. Look at me. Look at what I made. I'm going to disregard everything to go do this thing that is actually not beneficial financially. It is a money sink. It is but the draw, the thing is that like it is purely an intoxicating thing being in a band, and nothing ever feels like it.
Yeah, I guess my hope and dream, because so like my relationship with music, and probably everybody who is in the scene feels this way because that's why they're in the scene to begin
Yes.
with. But like there is so much music throughout my childhood and my young adulthood and my adulthood that like really got me through stuff or made like helped provide a backdrop to whatever was going on in my life. And like just like you can't put a dollar amount on the way music can make you feel and the way that it can interact with you and like emotionally. And I can go on and on about it.
I think like, you're so right. I mean,
the dream is that you create something that does that for someone. Like that is all I want in the world for Townies, even if we never do world tours or anything. Like I hope, and I know because people have told us in the last year, like there are people who listen to Townies and they feel that way. And like that to me, nothing could ever beat that, you know?
I completely agree. There's just something that you cannot beat. Like, again, it is, there's a currency and of that when you hear that and you just feel like actually $1 million of whatever that currency is. You like it's so fucking large. And anyone that says, "Oh, I love that song," and that's it. "Oh, I love that song." That's five words. If you hear that, it's just like, cool. I'm good for a fucking month.
Right.
There's just
because it's intoxicating, like you said, it's a drug. It's like, oh my god, like now I need more.
Yeah,
more.
It's just crazy. Like, I've tried to talk to other people that aren't in bands to say like, is there any what's the closest to this feeling? And like, it's just all anyone that tells you good job, like that's the closest thing like that it'll ever get close to. But it's just so much different because it's about something that you made and like the art side of it. It's just crazy. It's so fucking crazy. I wanted to ask, so you have this this EP coming out. What does the rest of this year look like for Townies?
It's a good question. Like, yeah, we're about to be in the thick of it. So, and I think, when are you releasing this? Like probably right after the EP drops, maybe.
I was going to ask if you wanted to premiere a song off of it, and then we could do it like. When are you releasing it?
I honestly don't even fucking remember.
Isn't it? Here, it's like in 2 weeks, do this. Right?
We're putting out a single in 2 or 3 weeks. We're putting out another single 2 or 3 weeks after that, and then we're putting out the whole EP like a week or two after that.
Okay, cool.
I can't remember any of the dates. Let's have this air after everything is out, just in case I say things that aren't announced.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Perfect. Okay, cool. That sounds great to me.
Cool. This year, and then that way you can put a song at the end and
yeah,
we'll get mad at me.
Yeah, and I'll pick that one because I'm excited.
All right, actually, I'm eager to see what you choose.
This is the Brain Synth EP, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
cool,
I was
going
to say like the next month and a half at least, we're announcing Brain Synth, where we've got a couple music videos that we DIY'd. Our buddy Ozzy helped us out with a lot of like film and photo stuff over the past, literally forever. Shout out Ozzy.
He's got a song named after him.
He has a song named after him. It's funny because sometimes people think the song's about him and it's just like not at all. Like it's completely random, as most things are. After that, we're playing Fest this year, which is
huge.
Like truly a dream come true. Like I remember being a kid and I was in like high school, but watching like Captain We're Sinking live at Fest and like just video. I was like, what is this Fest? Like what a bad name for a festival. Like I can't find this anywhere. And that's so cool. Like I cannot wait to do that. Other than that, like we're probably laying pretty low after the EP comes out. Unless we blow up and need to tour the world, but
yeah, totally. It's probably just that a handful of shows, and then it's just like back on break.
Like I think to your point earlier, like we're now at least known enough where we're getting hit up pretty frequently. Like, hey, we're touring on this day. Like, can you jump on the bill? That kind of stuff. So we're going to play around SoCal a lot over the next year. We're going to write a lot of songs. We were just rehearsing last night and came up with some cool new ideas. So like I'm really starting to think about LP2 and what I personally as like a songwriter and a lyricist want to convey, but there aren't a ton of super hard and fast plans. Oh dude, we have, again, maybe this won't be announced by the time, but you guys are doing, right?
Yeah. Are y'all doing it too?
Hell yeah.
Yes!
Dude,
let's fucking go!
We can get drunk again!
Yeah, more for that! Oh my God.
I will say, like, as soon as we linked up in Oklahoma City, within like 30 seconds, I was like, we're going to be friends with this band for a long
buds
time.
forever.
Like,
well, it's actually really funny when they asked us to do that. That's the same night as the My Chemical Romance show in Chicago. And Mikey and my bassist and my guitarist both have tickets to that show.
Uh-oh.
And so we reached out to and we were like, can we go early? Can we play early so that they can make it? And they were like, I think we're going first or second. And I'm sticking around. I'm hanging out. Like,
you're not going anywhere.
I'm not fucking going anywhere. And so
I have a bar tab already open with your name on it.
They're dipping out to go see that show, and I'm sticking around. I'm just happy that we could work that out so that we could still do it, because like that means the world to hang out and do that thing.
Yeah.
Like,
do you guys think you'll just be in town for like the one night, or are you going to try to play more?
I think we're trying to decide right now, like whether it's going to drive up on Friday and like leave Sunday. Cause it's only
we might try and play a show Saturday in Milwaukee. So
no
we
shit.
Chat offline.
Okay.
I know Nolan's been in touch with some Milwaukee bands about trying to do something.
Okay. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy. That'd be kind of fucking nuts. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, fuck yeah. Okay, sweet. So that sounds like an exciting rest of the year. Hell yeah. I'm gonna play a song off the new EP. This is of my choosing. It's already out. So I'll play that right now. Here is a song off the new EP by Townies. Magical editing times. Nice. Cool. That was that song that I played. My dog, thank you so much for fucking hopping on and shooting the shit. We're gonna have to keep doing this every time you have more stuff coming out, because I miss you and I want to fucking hang out again.
For sure, dude. Yeah, I have so much fun talking about music and just geeking out about stuff. I'm psyched that I didn't know you guys were playing WTR until this morning. I texted Jordan.
Hell yeah. I'm really, really excited about it. And I think it's going to be a really, really cool show. Chicago is like my second home, so it's going to be nice to go back.
Sick.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. You have a good rest of your day, dog, and I'll talk to you soon.
See you, dude.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yep. Boop-a-doo.